Hey guys, welcome back to the creative competition week number 5, and today I'm going to be showing off the top 3 builds of this week. And of course the topic for this week was Australia and also big plots. So we got massive plots to build in, and besides being based on Australia, the theme, it also had to have a type of spawning room or a warp point. So they were the features I was looking for while I was marking these. And sadly, we didn't get as many entries, but that's fair enough because this was a lot of work to actually do a big plot. Like, just if you ever look at this guy built all of this stuff, and I can't even load the corners here. What the Oh, here we go. That's loading now. Terrible trunk loading experience, but yeah, so I just thought I'd start off in this guy's plot. It was a bit random, doesn't really have anything to do with the theme this week, but there's that thing over there which I thought looked pretty, what's the word? Special, I think the word I'm looking for. And then I came down here to have a look at this guy's house. I walked in, it says door building, my door, and I'm like, what the why is there pistons facing this way? So I go out here and flick the lever, and the door shuts there. I'm like, yeah, alright. I look in here, and the pistons still haven't moved. I've no idea. This redstone circuit just puzzles me. Like, he's got all of these pistons, and I think he just gave up, and he kind of failed. Like, if we go through here, he's got all of this circuit, and all it does is push these 2 blocks out one. I just found that amusing. I'm sorry to whoever's redstone circuit this is, but it kind of failed, man. Have a look at my redstone tutorials. I'll definitely help you out. And the redstone showing out here in the lever. They'll definitely help you out, man. My redstone tutorial series. Please have a look at it. That is all I wanted to say. Let's go ahead and TP to the next build that entered this week. Whereabouts was it? It was 20670. 350, I believe the coordinates was. And we're here. So I thought this one was definitely a good effort, and there was lots of signs placed around, so it was really easy to tell what things were, in case I didn't quite know. It's very good though, houseboat. Very glad he read houseboat there, because otherwise I would have assumed this was some type of underwater cow. That's its mouth, I guess. That's what I originally thought it was going to be, like some type of underwater cow. But they did build a bridge, and they built little boats out bush. What? Okay, these signs don't make 100% sense, but the builds don't really... I'm not going to say anything else. These guys did a great effort. This bridge is actually a lot better. Like, I really like this bridge. But the things around it, I don't quite agree with as much. Welcome to the Harbour Bridge in Sydney. Warp. So this is where you would warp in. Is that guy serious? He's spamming while I'm recording. That's a good effort. I think he gets a perm mute for that. Oh, I might unmute him after, but he's muted for perm until now. What have we got here? Thanks Hades and Goldie for the server. Yep, pretty good. And it's a good bridge. I'm definitely happy with that. That's really good. But we're going to continue exploring, because the things that this plot was missing, besides the weird water designs here, was it wasn't focused. Like, it wasn't really in the middle of the plot, and they didn't fill it up. They kind of started filling it up, but then they gave up, and I know it was really hard this week, but that was kind of the point of it, to see if you can fill it up. Do you want to ride this one? Oh, we got time this episode. Let's ride this. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Oh, mad. Okay, that was it, guys. Nah, it just goes a little loop-to-loop, comes back. What is this exactly? Maybe there's a sign? Hopefully there's a sign. It looks like there is. We might be in luck. Car parking. Car parking. And I guess this is where the car would go up to the high levels. And maybe this wasn't finished. But this competition actually went on for, how much was it? I think it was 3 or 4 days longer than all the previous ones. Like, I gave him a lot of extra time because I knew it was going to be a big one. AFK pool, I love these. Don't build them on the PvP server so you can stay online next to your mob spawners, please. I'm joking, you can do that, that's fine. Server should be able to handle it. Look at this. AFK pool, really simple. That's kind of... I'm glad they did that, so I could show you guys something useful this episode. Shelter. Yep. Alright, I think that's pretty much it for this plot. We will give them the credit though, so... Plot me info. And they did have some books over here that I read. So there you go, all the people listed there. Yep, hope you enjoyed it. We will read these books. Hopefully there's nothing bad in them. I only looked in one of the books. Alright. By Benelichin. I love you, Hades. Keep it up, bruh. Next book. Hello, Hades. You're amazing. Stay in touch with me. By the way, my channel is at... Yeah, okay. Dear Hades, getting some free advertising in here, that's alright. Dear Hades, I love your YouTube videos. Be sure to keep up all the good effort in all your vids. Like you always do. Please give me a shout out. My channel is Jackson. Well, people might not be able to find you with that shout out, but I don't know. They might be able to. Type it into YouTube. See if you give that guy a shout out. See if he did that right. I have a feeling there'll be a lot of other people named Jackson. And I'm not even sure if he would have got the original name, but anyway, who knows? I haven't searched it, so how would I know? Oh, now I get it. The bridge goes across there and then into the parking lot. Yeah, that kind of makes a bit more sense. Next build we go. TP Hades MC to 163 70 150 10 1510. That'll take me here. Yep, so here we go, Noob's Read. Up here is the exit. That way, okay. What's this over here? I didn't actually look this direction. This was where they spawned. I teleported in here and then walked down there. So, I didn't actually see that bit. It looks like that's the spawn area. And it comes out here. This is behind the Noob's Read board. It says Suburbs and Prison. Walk around the corner here. We'll open the chest, see if there's anything. Dragon eggs, I hate them. Poor people, third class. This would have been easy if they'd worded it. So, I don't know what this has to do with Australia, unless you're trying to say everyone's really poor. But Australia is like one of the richest countries in the world, along with some of the countries in Europe and of course the US and Canada. They are actually kind of the leaders in the economy of the world, so I'm not sure what this was. But I do get the prison reference here, because Australia was actually founded by convicts, you could say, kind of. I don't know the exact story, but basically a long time ago. What is it? Britain sent over a bunch of convicts, as well as a bunch of military and prison guards and explorers, and they basically set up camp on the side of Australia. They hit land and they're like, yay, Australia. Then they sent over some more prisoners and made it like a work camp so the prisoners could help build the civilization up a bit, so everyone could, all the higher people and guards could live there. Hades' house is moving in. G1. My house doesn't quite look as good as I expected. There should be 5 screens on the wall there, some beast computer, some webcams, some cameras, some lights. That'll be more pimp. Oh, there's upstairs. I didn't see this before. And more random blocks. I don't actually know. That's what I'll change about this build. If you're looking for some tips, whoever built this, that is too colourful. It needs to be more plain or matching colours. And the poor people's houses doesn't really fit in that well. I guess it could, kind of. There probably is some poor parts in Australia. And, yeah, my house could probably have less blocks in it. What's in here? Let's go have a look. Go through the portal to the Great Barrier Reef. Now, I saw this and I'm like, doesn't really look like a reef at all, but I don't really know what you could do to change that. The Great Reef, lol 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 lol. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because it doesn't really look like a reef, but I guess it is one of the best you could do with the limited blocks in Minecraft. The desert, oh Australia. Down the road there's rich people swag and desert. So actually, that's fall for this trick again. He did trick me while I was marking this guide, because I had to go look at his whole plot, of course. And when you get right down to the end here, he puts a nice little sign saying, there is no desert, lol lol. And that's it. That's it for this plot, guys. So you can probably see why I didn't make it into the top 3. But anyway, we are going to start off the top 3 right now. And heaps of people in chat trying to talk to me, sorry. Let's go TP to number 1. So this is build number 1, if you want to vote for it in the comments. And make sure to vote this week, guys, because it is kind of a close one. I wouldn't say it was a close one if I had to pick off certain aspects, but if you merge everything together, it is definitely a close one. And you'll see why when I show you. So here's the first one, a little statue down there, some stuff down there, a little church top area here. We actually have to go at the front to get the full signs. I'll go read them. Where were they? I don't know where you put the signs actually, but we'll go over a quick fly around before I find the signs. I did read them before, but I forgot already. So this is the... Actually, we better go find the signs first, because he explains it in here. Come on! There was definitely signs in here. I must have just missed them. Guided tours, tourist information. Here it is. This is not done yet. This is my version of the Royal Exhibition Building and Carlton Gardens. It does not exact. I went off the design. So, there we go. There was his signs. I don't know how I missed them. But the interior definitely looks good. And I would say it's definitely up there with some of the good builds on this server. Like, it's different. That's what I like about it. It's different to the other builds. He puts these random holes here, like using staircases, and I don't see that technique much. And when I was flying around before, I did see another few little techniques that I don't see the other builders using. And that's what I liked about it. Now the lake, I normally would have dug it out more, but I guess since it was such a big plot, that's perfectly fine. Let's fly around the side here. He's got some wonderful paths. They by far look the best. Oh, these are roads, are they? Just by the traffic lights, I'm guessing they're roads, and that's a pedestrian crossing. That's good. That's definitely good. Look at this. This would be the parking if that was a road. Parking section, yep, it is. This is just getting better and better. That kind of looks like a H to me, but everything in Minecraft does, so it might not be. I don't know. And anyway, guys, so just remember, you got to try and remember, I don't want you to vote yet, but at the end of it, if you liked this build the best, try and go back and have a second look at it if you want. And this is build number 1 if you want to vote in the comments. Zip over here real quick. There we go, we done a full loop-de-loop. And if I did have to say what I liked the most about this build, is that he took up the whole plot perfectly. The spawn point he lost a few points on, because the direct spawn point where we could actually put a warp isn't the best for signage. Like, if I had to choose, I probably would have put the warp point at the front, because you'd be kind of confined in here. If I was to set the warp point, it would probably be here, facing this way. And I might have added some signboards, maybe here and here. That's what I would do. Just because inside the building is kind of a bit contained, and also on the outsides it's kind of a bit confusing. So you needed it near the building, but you needed it kind of about here, I think. So if this building does win, I'll probably put the warp point there and chuck some signs. And I think this will work really well. So build number 1, guys. Oh, no, you don't rain on me. Oh, we can write sun in this, because I have essentials. Fuck yeah. Alright, next build. PP Hades MC. This is build number 2, guys. If you want to vote for it. -13. Ooh, did we forget to go plot me info here? We did. Plot me info. Flightless pigeon. He's been around a bit. I've seen a few of his builds, or I've seen him on the server at least, and I vaguely remember if he's done other builds. But that's really good. Seeing a new name here in the top 3 is extremely good, and I encourage as many people to get involved as possible. He had a helper as well. I don't know how much he did, so I don't want to give too much credit. But make sure to post it in the comments, or if he wins, I guess we can give a shout out. Put a sign here saying how much this guy did. And I was TPing to the next build, wasn't I? So this is build number 1 we're looking at now, and I'm TPing to build number 2. Negative 138 will take us there. And we'll see whose build this is. Plot me info. Speed Freaks. So this is Speed Freaks build, a previous winner. There is the spawn block. Welcome to Big Plots. And if we walk out here, really bad walking by the way. There's a big statue of what looks like a skeleton kind of, but I guess it's meant to be a person holding the sword. Some love hearts. Some diamonds. Nice little exit over here. It goes to some towers, which goes down into a deserty town, which makes it look really like, looks like it's poverty, like houses, like huts even. They don't look like huts totally because they're made out of stone. So they do look a bit, they don't, it's hard to explain. Looks like the town is meant to be a poor town though. Like that's the feel I'm getting from it, just by the way everything's built. And it could have been ancient, like it could have been an ancient town. That could be the other theme he was looking for, by using sandstone, just like primitive. Not necessarily poor, but just really primitive and really old. Because it's one of those two feels that I'm getting for it. And the build looks amazing, to be honest. It's definitely, I would say this was the best designed build out of all of them. This is build number 2, guys, if you want to vote for it. But my criticism is, it has nothing to do with Australia at all. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. It doesn't really have much to do with Australia. And he might have even built outside of the plot. So I'm going to have a quick look at this. And he might have been building outside the plot, but that doesn't really count because we only wanted it to be the one plot. And yeah, so buildings are alright. They're better than average, I would say. This particular building in the middle, probably the best designed thing in this competition. Not in this competition, in this week so far. But he was heavily lacking the theme. I see no relation to the theme this week at all. So he definitely loses some points there. No theme points is pretty much a massive downfall. And also this here, when you're walking on it, it's really annoying. Like where it goes slow, because it slides on the ice and then it goes over the dirt. I mean the sandstone. And seeing as the people are actually going to be spawning here, and they can't fly out, they are forced to walk across this and just feel the pain of this jerky movement. It's annoying me the more I do it. So that floor is definitely terrible practical wise, but I guess design wise it looks alright. And the theme has nothing to do with the theme. Alright. Good build other than that though. Hopefully he takes that criticism in, because I guess he was working on this before the theme came out. That's what I have a feeling of. And I think he just adapted it a bit to the theme. But he could have done a lot more to do that if he actually wanted to win. He could have added in some more Australian type things to match the theme. And also the spawn could have been somewhere different and didn't have to have this weird floor that slows you down. So there's 2 improvements. But if you guys want to vote for this build, make sure to write build number 2 in the comments. And yeah, shout out to Speed Freak. Let's go ahead and TP to the next build. TP Hades MC. 71231. Alright guys, and this is build number 3. If you want to vote for this one, make sure to write build number 3 in the comments. Shout out to these 2 people. I believe they actually have videos on YouTube, so you can check them out if you want. I've watched a few of their videos, and they do videos. They do videos on the creative server. So you might be able to see your builds. If I miss it in my video, you might be able to see it in theirs. And input from Swordfish and Tombone. I think I read that right. Let's fly over here. Look at that tree. There's a koala in the tree. I really liked that. That actually looked like a koala. If someone told me to build a koala in Minecraft, it would look fail as anything I've ever seen. That actually looks good. The snake, it's a good effort. That's all I have to say. Black-headed snake. Alright, so I guess if you Google Australia, black-headed snake pops up. I've never heard of it in my life or seen one, but I'm sure they're somewhere in Australia. That's one of those things that if you're from Australia, you would have had a slight advantage, and you could have named some snakes that you actually see. But I guess this is probably, I think vaguely, it might be one of the most deadly snakes, and that's why it would have came up really high in Google search. Or that's why people overseas might know about it. But to be perfectly honest, I haven't heard of it. Yeah, I have heard of it vaguely, but I've never seen one or heard anyone talk about it. I think I saw it in a documentary. Frilled dragon. Right. Yep. I have seen them before. Don't think... Frilled dragon. I don't... Oh, the name just threw me totally off guard. I've never called it by that name, but I can picture what it's looking like, what it's meant to be. And I actually don't know the name, so that's good enough for me, I guess. And it's a really good effort. Like, I like the theme with the animals, and they would have looked it up. I'm going to assume these are all indigenous to Australia, so they're mainly in Australia. The koala definitely is. That's like the main emblem of Australia. You needed a koala here. Pied heron. Peed heron. Alright. So, I haven't heard of that animal either. That really shows how much I know about wildlife in Australia. I've been to the zoo quite a lot, and I do know most animals though. That's really weird that they managed to get 3 animals that I haven't heard of. Oh well. Well, I guess I've probably heard of the frilled gecko type thing. They called it a dragon. And I have heard of the snake, even though I've never seen one or heard anyone talk about it in conversation. Let's keep having a look around. What is this thing? This looks good. Godzilla frog. Look at that. Beast mode fly. Now that is actually really good. I like that. That frog is genius. Only because of those flies though. Absolute genius. What is that? Oh wow. It is not. I don't believe this. There's this is what they call, this is like beer. It's like called Foster's, I think. FOS, yeah, I guess it's meant to stand for Foster's. But it's one of those things again that is only on American TV shows and things based on Australia. In Australia, I don't think I've ever seen a can of Foster's. I've never seen it in my life. Not once. Not even when I've gone into like a club or a bar or whatever, like a hotel, whatever, anywhere that sells this, that would sell it, I've never seen it in my life. A lot of people overseas assume that all Australians drink is Foster's, but that is a perfect example right there that I have no idea where they get that from. It might be an Australian movie or something that might not even be based in Australia, and they just kind of gone with it. I have no idea where people from overseas get that idea from. Kangaroo looks more like a dinosaur, but good effort. Definitely kangaroos are Australian. Points for that. Fly over here. There's a little river, I guess. There's a billabong. People have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just going to stop talking about Australian things now. What is this? Emu? Yep, definitely. Emus all over this place. They're everywhere. I got like 5 in my closet. Let's have a look at this animal. Pink flamingo. Wanted a flamingo, so he got one. There you go, there's a flamingo. What else have we got over here? Hades Reed. Help is wanted. Please choose wisely the people you allow to help. What? This is probably for the people that are working on this together. Alright, let's grab this book. We're going to have a quick read of this. This is just an idea on something I discussed with you before, only it doesn't need managing by you. It doesn't go with the theme, and if you don't like the idea, it can be turned into a communal area. Alright. So, this build might actually win though, so it all depends on that. Make sure to vote for this one if you like it the most. Build number 3 in the comments, guys. Oh, there's still a lot more to cover though, so don't build yet. Set to fancy. Am I on fancy? There we go. That doesn't. To be honest, I wouldn't play on fancy, but I guess I should have probably done that, and I should have probably started there. But I got those coordinates for some reason. This is probably where I was meant to start, and I was meant to set it on fancy from the get-go. But the main thing fancy does is just make it so you can see through leaves. That is the main thing. There's a nice little water feature there. There's me and Steve, I think. I'm going to have to double check that. Warp point. Welcome. Not finished yet. Hades Reed. Australia. Well, here's the book that I was probably meant to start with. Welcome to the Australia Zoo. Steve Irwin has hired you for the day to help with the zoo. First on the list is to capture the crocodile. And by the way, don't tell Steve the animals look weird, he will get upset. You should get over it when they were born that way. Get over it, they were born that way. The gold flowers around spawn in the river are golden wattles, which is Australia's floral emblem. So there they are there. And here is me and Steve capturing that crocodile with the squashed head. But he was born that way apparently. Oh, there's a chest in here as well. Finding all the chests in this one. Another book. What a find. Well, I was probably meant to follow these books, but you have found a human finger. DNA tests have found it was Steve Irwin's. So, Steve Irwin, for those of you who don't know him, he was like a wildlife expert, I guess. He had his TV series, and I believe near the end of, somewhere in his career, he became a part of the Australia Zoo, and he did work there and recorded there and things like that. And he actually died by a stingray, I'm pretty sure. That was actually, to be honest, it was massive news for about a week, but it was just as big overseas. Like, overseas, people heard about it, and they all watched his TV shows, and it was even bigger. His death had an even bigger impact on the people overseas. And I found that extremely weird as it was happening, because it was kind of like an Australian icon type person, and the effect that his death had was actually overseas just as much as it was actually in Australia. So I found that extremely weird, and that things would affect people so much, like things like that. Let's go, son. Hey, look at my big plot. We'll TP to that guy to finish off the episode, I guess. Because I think that's pretty much it. I probably missed something because this was a really big plot. I'm going to go ahead and go back to Fast, because I believe Fast owns Fancy. It looks better for me even. And I guess that's pretty much it. So to sum it off, guys, this is build number 3. Build number 2. Oh wait, I'll do a little summary of each. So build number 3, I guess what I liked about this was the creativity and the effort put into it, I guess. The effort was definitely up there with themes. It definitely fit the theme the most. And it did have some nice, funny little additions that really looked nice. But the thing that was a bit odd about it was it obviously doesn't look as pleasing on the eye as the other two builds. I think the other two were a bit more design element added to it. but this one had a lot more personality to it. So if you want to vote off personality, I'll definitely go this one. But if you want to vote off pure design, probably go build number 2. But as I said, build number 2 was nothing to do with the theme, so that's why I wouldn't personally vote for it. And of course, build number 1 was a good mix between the two, and that's why I liked build number 1 the best. So if it was up to me, I probably would have gone build number 1, just for the good mixture of both, the design element and the theme. But yeah, this one, I don't know, guys. I would say between 1 and 3, but don't let me bias your decision. Whatever you thought deserves to win and what you would like to spawn in, vote for. And yeah, I'm just going to sum this up a tiny bit more about that drink and these animals. No idea what you're on about. No idea. Let's TP to this guy for the ending, just to see what he's been working on. Seeing as he's a donator and he's on at the time of my recording, he deserves to be checked out. Here he is doing some little mine carts. Yep, so what have we got here? Thank you for coming to tennis, where we make you happy. Alright. Well, shout out to that guy and his plot of minecart track tennis. Looks alright, actually. It does look alright. So it's a good effort. And I guess that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. Don't forget to vote so I can announce the winner. And I'm sorry for the server downtime, but yeah, I think it's been fixed. The server's been up for about 12 hours now without crashing. So hopefully I fix the problem and it'll be all good from now on. And have a great day, guys. See you later.